you better be glad this order is in your life.
Yeah.
Because for real, if you have no order in your life, you already a lost cause.
Yeah.
Wow.
Going down.
You already lose. You're fighting a losing battle. Because you're fighting from a place that you don't even really know how to fight.
Have no direction.
You have no direction. You're winging it. Tell me I'm going to overcome. What you going to overcome? You going to overcome this loss? So I got to have order in order for me to be willing or be ready to overcome a persistent enemy. So again, understand that God comes from trouble. He comes from trouble that I'm not yet ready to face. I need to have order in my life. Check this out. His purpose is fulfilled, connected to our capacity to receive.
Absolutely.
His purpose is fulfilled in our lives, connected to our capacity to receive. So God won't fulfill something that I'm not capable of actually walking out after he's done. Here's the understanding. God doesn't make Sister Aria a wife until he's prepared her to be a wife. So even though she can be 30 years old, and there were people that got married at 20 years old, it's not that she's behind time, it's just that God can't fulfill what he hasn't completed connected to her capacity. 35? Oh, okay, amen. Well, you let God lead you, Sister Lipscomb. Hallelujah. My God. Okay, so, Jesus. Good girl shot, Sister Lipscomb. My God, we'll talk later. Amen. So the capacity, God's got to complete some stuff in me, Sister Coop, before he makes me to become something. He'll never make me to be a thing he hasn't already completed in me.
Yeah.
Let me say that one more time. He'll never make me be a thing he hasn't already completed in me. I'm going to say that one more time, and I pray that encourages somebody, and I'm going to give you some wisdom on who should be encouraged in a minute. He will never make me a thing he has not already completed me to be. So, Sister Coop, you really should be at a place, because you're in God, that you can actually embrace baby Riley. Because he wouldn't make you her mom if he hadn't completed motherhood in you before she came. So there's never, please hear this tonight, there's never, when I'm in God, a mistake to what he does. Because he completes it in you before he does it. Okay, all right, when you're in God. So, after which they realize they've been led through the Red Sea, God now comes along and he gives provision connected to where he's led. He gives provision connected to where he has led them. Where's the provision, Pastor? Well, we see in verse 21 that the Bible says the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night. He took not away the provision from before the people. God provided on their process to overcome. Catch it tonight. Please don't miss it. Overcoming a persistent enemy. I'm understanding first that God never leads me, or he understands that God covers me from trouble I'm not ready to face. His purpose is fulfilled, connected to my capacity. He sends me out with order. But then I find that he will provide for me in the face of my adversary. I can't overcome the enemy, please catch this, until I reconcile in my heart that God will provide even in my issue.
That's good.
Thank you, Sister Lipscomb. But because we talking about trying to overcome something
And then get
you got to understand the provision before you're eligible to overcome.
Yes, sir.
I got to understand, reconcile in my mind, that if God has led me here, not only has he prepared me for it, but he's also prepared for it. So D, I like to talk about myself because that keeps me clean by talking about myself. So when I knew God was sending us this way, I say this often. I'm going to say it until you get sick of it or until you change.
Amen.
Okay. When I knew God was sending me this way, Sister Thompson, I said, God, we got to have real talk about money. A real talk.
That's a real word.
You and I got to sit down at the table and we got to go through a plan or something. You got to show me. And when he told me, he said, son, I'm going to provide for you as you go. So this is what I found, Brother Bartnight. He didn't provide before we got here. But he provided when we went there. So when I'm going, help me today, Black.
Yeah.
When I'm going to try to find a spot to live, I'm going on the fact of God, you said you're going to provide when I get there. So when we get here, provision is there.
Amen.
But we had to go to see the provision.
You had to go though.
And then when we get here, life still happens. First lady still got to get her hair done. I still got to eat. First lady still got to eat.
Yeah,
Bills still got to be paid.
this is true.
You know what I found out, Brother Night? None of the bill collectors cared that I was going to start a church.
Nope.
None of them.
No.
I'm like, I can't get one of them just to say we'll take a few months off.
Not one.
Give them the good story. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to do the will of the Lord.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure the Lord is providing, Mr. Hinton, because we need this payment on the first. I said, well, God, nobody going to take a IOU? Nobody will take a get back at it? God said, but I don't operate like that. If I'm sending you, and I am, I'm providing for you.
Amen.
But the provision is only connected to you being willing to go.
You gotta go.
And I found that I really unlocked some real provision, Brother Bartnight, when I took options off the table.
Oh.
Teach tonight.
Absolutely.
I feel God right
He's
there.
here.
I felt him right there. When I start taking off the table with God, I can do this, that, and the third. He started doing this, that, and the third. When I took off the table the ladders, emails that was coming, saying, come get this job interview next week because you qualify for this position.
Yeah.
That's when God said, well, if the ladders can do it, I can do better. Talk to me, Black.
Yeah, I know it's your time.
No, it's your time.
And this is good too. This is good. I remember before we got here, and we really struggled. For real, I don't know if we even making it clear on how many times we made the trip to find a place. It had to be at least 4 times.
At least.
And I remember we got down to almost 2 weeks, and you still didn't have a place.
Talk to the people.
And when
I don't think
Pastor
they
called me, he said to me, he said, listen, whether we got a place or not, I'm going anyway. And that was 2 weeks before, it was about 9 days almost. It was
You own
something
it?
weird. And I'm telling you, it blew my socks off. And I had been with the man of God for a while. I'm like, this guy said he going anyway. If he got to stay in the hotel, he is gone. That blew me out the water. So I know you're working that faith, sir. Yes, sir. You're teaching.
So if God will provide connected to us going, the question I got, Brother Jenkins, is why are we scared to go?
Amen.
Because Pastor, it's scary out there. I don't see the steps. I'm gonna come to you, brother. I don't see the ladder. I don't see the way in it. I don't see a plan. I got a wife. Help me today. I got kids.
Yeah.
God, I spent 30 years on this job. You telling me I'm supposed to walk away from all that? And then you going to provide as I go? Rebut that.
In the scripture, the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of cloud, and by night on a pillar of fire.
Yes.
The pathway was already clear.
Yes.
The protection was already there.
Yes.
All they had to do was continue to walk the path that God put in front of them. I think at times what we have a tendency to do is not understand that our path is as clear as theirs because we lack the faith to be able to see it.
You're right on target, Rebut that. And that's the thing. And I'm going to help us. And I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something in the text that for real, they ain't had no faith either. Like for real, they had zero faith. But they had a leader that they trusted. Oh God. Oh God.
This is good.
Oh God. Thank you, Jesus. I felt like shouting right there. Their faith was shot, but they knew God talked to Moses. And if Moses said, this is what God wants us to do, I'm scared for real, but I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I'm nervous, but God said it. So their faith was very much like ours. They didn't even see. Check this out, Brother Barton. Even though it stayed light longer, they didn't even realize God was working for them. Let me say that one more time, because that just should have picked up the daylight savings time church.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though it stayed light longer,
Yes, sir.
they didn't realize that that was God's way of providing.
Yeah.
Let me say it one more time for Sister Evans, because she gonna catch it this time. It stayed light longer, but yet they didn't realize that God was providing for them, connected to the light He was giving. Pastor, what are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to tell me? God all the time is working and doing in our favor, but we don't take time to open our eyes and realize that what He's doing is in our favor.
Yeah.
You know,
It's still light outside. You're catching the chickens. It's okay. So he gave them a source of provision that would be light during the day and would create fire in the nighttime. So if the fire
That's it.
is also a semblance of light,
It is.
they were always somebody's catching in the light. Somebody's catching. I believe that in John chapter 1, they called Jesus the light of the world.
That's it. That's Bible. Yes, sir.
So if the same light that was guiding them in the preach to me tonight, Lipscomb, in the Old
Show
Testament,
fire. Literally.
is the same light that's guiding us today.
Amen.
That's awesome.
So if He did it for them
Yes.
without faith, He can do it for us
Yes.
without faith.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Here's the key. You got to trust your leader. Oh, Father, help me today. I need somebody to high five right there. You got to trust that the man of God
Yeah.
actually hears from God for your life. I ain't speaking to you for me to get no benefit.
Yeah.
I want you to get the benefit.
Amen.
Pastor, that's kind of crazy. You want me to do all that? Trust me. I'm hearing Him. And if I did it,
My God.
all right, so we got to walk in the light. All right, God, check this out, Sister Lipscomb, since you on fire tonight, will give visible approval when trouble is on the horizon. Whew, that was a deep phrase. I'm gonna let you write it down, then I will come back and explain it. God gives visible approval when trouble is on the horizon. Help me today, Jesus.
On the horizon.
That means God shows you He's satisfied with you because He sees trouble coming that's going to try to push you away from the confidence that He's satisfied with you.
Horizon. Yes, sir. Yes.
It's on the horizon.
That's good, sir. Go teach.
So when God looked out at the children of Israel, He said something. If we look at Exodus 14, just going to the next chapter. Before I get to those verses I read, it's something very interesting. And for you scholars, please take note of this. I was going to not do this tonight, but I said, Lord, I'm going to do it because you showed it to me. So if you gave it to me, I want them to have it too. In the 14th chapter, the first two verses, look at what the Lord says. The Bible says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, that they turn and encamp before Pi-hahiroth, between Megdol and the sea, over against Baal-zephon, before it shall ye encamp by the sea. Now, here it is. Pastor not just speaking a whole lot of big words and crazy stuff that don't have meaning. First thing I want you to always realize about the Bible is that words are important. Okay? Words are important and they have meaning. So I began, Evangelist Graham, to dig into why it was necessary for God to call those places out. So when I see the word Pi-hahiroth is actually defined as the place where the reeds grow. R-E-E-D-S, the place where the reeds grow. Okay? So he says, I want them to turn and encamp in a place where the reeds are growing, between Migdol. Migdol, First Lady, simply translate in Hebrew to a tower. Or a watchtower. So he says, I want y'all to go to a place where the reeds are growing. Reeds are tall,
Yes,
slender pieces of grass.
Yes, sir.
Minister Black and I are out looking diligently for our building a couple of days ago. We leaving no stone in Concord unturned. If it's an available property, we going to look at it. So we looked at this one the other day, Brother Jenkins, that I knew when we got there it couldn't work. But since we were out there, we said, let's do it. And so when we walked around, Sister Tijuana, you've seen stuff like this in real estate. We walked around the back, and you can tell it's probably been 10 to 15 years since the grass has been cut. So the reality is, I'm about 6'1". The grass was probably about 6'5". So as we're walking,
yes, sir.
Because it was a drop off. As we're walking, first the grass was kind of like waist high. Then it kind of came up chest high. And then we were kind of eye high.
Yes, sir.
And so Mr. Black, he looked at me. He said, Pastor, I want to appreciate you because for real, you could have sent me, but you did it with me. I said, well, Black, look, we in this thing together. But the Lord was showing me something, Sister Evans, about reeds. Okay, he was showing me something about reeds. Now, because of my height, God allowed me to walk into something that really covered me. I walked into something, Jenkins, that covered me. So he told me as I was studying today, he said, think back to where you were. Those are examples of reeds. He said, so I called for the children of Israel because I knew they didn't have any faith, Sister Coop. I didn't tell them to approach their enemy in an upfront way. I tried to send them away by some covering. I tried to send them away for them to check this out. You'll catch this, Mr. Black. For them to be able to eliminate that their help couldn't come from man. I sent them into something that they felt like should have covered them, but the covering is the thing that exposed them. Okay, here it is. The Egyptians knew where they were, First Lady, because they were in the middle of something that man created. All right. The enemy found out who and where they were because they stopped trusting in God, but tried to go according to man's covering. God said, I needed to send you what seemed like being the wrong way so that you would be able to eliminate the fact that man can't help you get out of this.
My God.
I sent you by the way that would have seemed like you had a protection. Just for you to know that when you don't trust in me, you always going to be exposed. You can talk all the faith you want to talk. You can quote all the scriptures you want to quote. You can give all the religious colloquialisms that you want to give. But the reality is, whenever you're still trusting in man, get ready to be exposed. So God sends them by a way that was covered. When they got there, the Bible says that Pharaoh says, now they're trapped. They're at a place where they're stuck. All they got around them is grass and the Red Sea. So I'm going to come now and I'm going to get them because their God, check this out, led them into a trap. Here it is. God will use situations that seem bad just to allow your enemy to pursue you that God can destroy.
Amen.
My God.
He will send
My
you
God.
into what seems like a trap
Yeah.
just for your enemy to think this is your end so they can come pursue you. And God says, I'm going to do all that just for me to annihilate your enemy.
Wow.
It does. Because now the enemy is going to try to come into a territory that I thought was safe. Here it is. We're teaching tonight on overcoming a persistent enemy. So when the children of Israel, God already saw what was going on. So God says, all right, Moses, this is what I want you to do. I want you to, the people, they started crying to Moses. Moses, The Egyptians they great to overtake us. They up on us. We nervous. We scared. So Moses goes. He talks to God, and God tells Moses, "Listen, why are you even crying to me? For real. You don't have to cry to me. I already told you I had a plan. So only thing I need you now is to realize, Moses, the power that you got in your hand." And so God begins to say, well, Moses, what is it that you got in your hand? And Moses, Mr. Black, he said, I got a staff. I got a staff. Now, okay, I won't want to do that tonight, but I'll give you, as God gives it to me, I'm going to give it to you. So, a staff is designed to be a support. Okay? Staff is designed to be a support. You know, you put it on the ground, you know, as you're walking, it can be like a cane or something like that you can lean and put your weight on, right? Staff. Everybody still with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So staff is something you use that as a leader, when you're walking with the staff, you know, you always have the staff connected to you. It's always close to you, and you use it for support. All right? You use it for support. You get tired, you should be able to lean on the staff. Staff can help you out, right?
Right.
Okay. So he asked Evangelist Graham, what you got in your hand? Moses says, I have a staff. Well, I began to think, and I said, God, you see it already about that. I said, God, this is interesting. You put a staff in the life of a leader, for the leader, whatever that is, amen, to be able to, in fact, have some support. For the leader to be able to lean on and trust that the staff can hold up the leader. And I began to think about what people call support.
Oh my God, this is good.
And they call them a staff.
My God.
Oh, okay. So Jenkins, if God is going to raise you to be a part of my staff, I got to be able to first know that you're in my hand.
That's good.
Right.
Go on, teach us.
That doesn't mean I'm trying to control you. That doesn't mean I'm trying to finagle you. That means I'm trying to get over. But when you know something is in your hand, Mr. Black, that means you're always cognizant of where it is. It's connected. So that whenever something needs to be executed, Sister Lipscomb, God says, I'm going to execute it through you, Hinton, but I'm going to execute it with you using your staff. Right. Now, the staff has to be connected to your hand so that when you speak connected to something moving, the staff only does what you empowered it to do.
That's right.
The staff doesn't try to create their own way of doing a thing, but the staff says, I understand that I've got authority, but my authority only works when I'm connected to the man's hand.
Yes.
So God says, the same way he used the staff as a type for Moses, he'll use the staff in your own life. Here it is, Pastor. Here it is, people. This is what I understand. God says he will put people in your life that you ought to be able to lean on. So that when times of frustration come, you don't even need to call, and I was going to say the psychic hotline. I pray to Jesus y'all ain't calling them. But you don't need to send $30 to Joel Osteen for him to tell you have a good day. You don't need to send $30 to Bishop Jake for him to tell you get ready. What you need to realize is he's put people in your life that you can lean on to get over your issue.
Amen. Amen.
Awesome.
But if God puts support in my life, the expectation is that the support will literally be there.
That's right.
Have you ever called somebody that you really just needed to talk to, but it seemed like they had more to talk about than what you did? You ain't really supporting me. I'm going to go ahead and hang up on you and let me find somebody on my staff that's got an ear today.
Amen.
I'm calling because I need some help, not because I need some advice. You'll catch that one next week.
Amen.
I get advice about what you say. I get help by what I say. So God told Moses, take the staff and lift up your rod and your staff, lift it up, and he was going to divide the waters of the Red Sea. All right, now here's the thing, Deacons Black, a lot of times we miss in this story. Even though the children of Israel heard that their enemy was behind them, they were so covered by God that they still couldn't even see the enemy. Catch this. He said he would be a pillar of cloud by day
Yeah.
and a pillar of fire by night. And what we realize in verse 22 of Exodus 14, he says, so that the two could not even see or come near each other. So the enemy is trailing them, chasing them, making a lot of noise that they can hear, but God's got them so protected that they can't even see their enemy. Here's the understanding that I don't want us to miss. Whenever I'm getting ready to overcome something, most of the stuff I'm going to overcome is stuff that I'm troubled about that I can't even see. Well, Pastor, give me an example. Oh, I will. Okay. I'm troubled because it seems like, my body is acting a little funny. I got had a couple of hiccups, and those hiccups now have turned into a cough. And I don't really get it. I don't like it. So God, I need you to help me. And God says, okay, those things, you worried about something that ain't even there. You worried about something you can't even see. And that's what the enemy does. The Bible says that he's as a roaring lion. He goes about seeking whom he may devour. Now it says as. That means he's like unto a roaring lion, which means his job is to make a lot of noise, to terrify you, to scare you, to get you off course. But God says, I got you so protected that for real, the only reason the enemy knows where you are is because you're responding to his sign. Wow. Because there's so much darkness in the light, in the eyes of the enemy, that he can only identify where you are because he hears you crying about the noise he's making. So if I'm silent while I go through, he can't even really find me while he's chasing me. But he's only cognizant of my location when I get to making noise because of what he's doing.
Covered, that's right.
But God said, I got you covered, Minister Black. So that if I've spoken the word of God over your life, you're now protected by that word. So the enemy can't even really get to you because he can't even see you. So God now has his hands on them. They're covered, they're protected, but they're facing this Red Sea. And because they're making so much noise about being at this Red Sea, they're complaining so much to Moses and they're crying out loud to God that the enemy now notices where they are. What we identify, you can go back and read it when you get opportunity because I'm on the road, I don't feel like slowing down. When you go back and read Exodus 14, you'll identify that the angel of the Lord caught wind of what the enemy's tactics were. So the Bible says that the angel, First Lady, that was going before them actually lifted from before them and came behind them.